Hello there.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm on a new microphone this week. Can you tell?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Fair enough. Similar.
Fair enough. Yeah, I had a cord instability problem on my other one, and I used to have the same one that you have. And so I got the Shure MV7. It's a newly released kind of podcast optimized mic, and I think it's a little bit cheaper than the other Shure mic that's like $500 or something. And so, yeah, so far so good, I think.
Yeah, I'd like to hear some like side-by-side clips because it's hard for me to sort of analyze it in isolation. It sounds maybe a tiny bit less bassier than your old mic, but I don't know.
Oh no, I can't lose my bass.
Maybe it's a more natural frequency response now.
Maybe, yeah.
Who knows? Cool. So now you've upgraded your setup a little bit.
Yeah, I like it.
Cool. I have a shout out to Geek Desk this week.
Ooh, okay.
So I bought the desk that I have now. I have a standing desk from Geek Desk. I think I got it in 2012.
I had one from around that era as well.
Yeah. When I moved, they took it apart and then put it back together, and somehow in the process I lost some pieces. And so like the top is not quite attached to the legs as it's supposed to be. And so I emailed their support and I was like, "Hi, this is about an order from like 8 years ago. Any chance you have any of these bolts sitting around?" And I sent them a photo of it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we found some. Like, we'll just send them to you," and just shipped me out some new bolts. So like, props to them for helping out. And they're like, "No charge. We're just gonna send you some parts. Thanks for being a customer for a long time. And by the way, it's cool that your version 2 Geek Desk still works. We're psyched about that."
Yeah, nice. When I moved into my current place, we downsized quite a bit, so I finally had to let it go. But that Geek Desk frame, I think I had the V2 also. It moved around with me many different places, and it was quite a workhorse.
I remember being kind of surprised at how expensive it was at the time, but it has held up quite well. So kudos to them.
Right. And kudos for, good customer service. That's awesome.
Nothing like it. It's the best.
Yep.
So we're planning a Tuple retreat in a couple weeks.
Nice.
Yeah. The Founders Vision Quest, I guess, is sort of the style. I'm excited to eventually do like our Tuple retreat for real, where it's like people that work at Tuple go on our retreat.
Right. Not just
the three
founders.
of us.
Yeah.
Because it's increasingly not just us working on this. So like we're missing voices. So we'll do a founders version, which should be nice.
What's on the agenda? Is it kind of planning for the new year, or
I think that's going to be. Yeah, how's everybody doing? What do we want to do next quarter? It's a little early for the end of the next quarter planning, but not too much. I think we're not going to have that much productive time in December anyway, due to holidays and whatnot. So end of November is kind of close to the end of the year, practically, in terms of what we'll ship, I think. But yeah, talking about the future and hopes and dreams and how's everybody feel and how do you really feel? Yeah.
Those meaty conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's like the big things of like, when do we tackle like this big idea? Like, when does Linux maybe happen? When does multi-way happen? That kind of thing. And those almost always get discussed at these kind of things.
Do you think you'll end up discussing things like, what do we want out of the business? Like, how often do you revisit the question of like, do we want to raise funding? Do we want to try to grow this really fast? Do we want to get super rich off of this? Or are we cool with more of lifestyle? Like, what do we want?
I feel like we talk about that stuff like semi-regularly, informally. Like, someone will make a joke about it, and they're like, "Well, do we want to think about this?" And I was like, nah. Yeah, the funding thing still doesn't seem that good. I keep seeing this like idea of like, you can either like bootstrap and go slow and have this lifestyle business, or you can raise a lot of money and go really fast. And part of me is kind of like, yeah, I think money is one ingredient to fast, but it's not the only one. Like, you can't just pour money on the problem and make it go quicker always.
You have to have a use for the money, right? Which I think a lot of people assume that like venture capital just like makes things grow fast, but it actually has to be deployed strategically and smartly. You have to know what to do with it. Otherwise, you can end up just wasting a lot of money, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can turn a lot of money into spending, but can you turn it into revenue?
Right.
Profit, ideally. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're pretty happy with our growth rate and how things are going, and the amount of rich that we will probably get on our current trajectory. So I'd be surprised if any big changes happen there.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me would be if it felt like we couldn't hire people we really wanted to. Like if we were like, we're hamstrung, like we figured out a bunch of things, but we can't make the team we want in order to do the things we want to do. but it feels to me like we can. It's like there's enough margin, and we're not like drowning. And so it's like, oh yeah, we could. I think we can hire fairly slowly and build a really great team and do the things we want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's like my ideal, obviously, but I've gotten a taste even just from working a couple of weeks with Corey now on marketing stuff, like just a little taste of what it's like to have another brain thinking through problems, and like we can, check in with each other every couple of days, and I can hear what he's thought about, and I can share kind of my updates on what I've thought about. And man, it's really nice. So I can I bet I can, yeah.
If you've been solo on this from the beginning, like this, it must be so nice to have someone to bounce stuff off of.
Yeah. And even just like, I don't know, so go into my update a little bit, but like Corey did a thing. He runs a community called Swipe Files, and he did a thing where we posted this Thursday on this Think Tank Thursday little thing that they do. Corey wrote this whole kind of breakdown of the stuff that we want to think through, and then solicited thoughts from the community there. And then he's been kind of digesting that and thinking through like, how should we change the marketing side and some of the marketing collateral to better align with what makes sense to people? And like, that's just a whole body of work that I have kind of been doing sort of ad hoc, spending, a little bit of mental energy on here and there, but just to have someone who's like actually focusing on that. Oh man, so good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It almost doesn't matter what he's focusing on. If you just having another person to talk to about it would be energizing. But it's also great that he's taking kind of like a big burden off of your plate.
Yep. Something that is quite a context switch from, building product features. Yeah.
Right. Yes. It's so different and also required, and would probably eat at you as you're like writing code. You're like, I really should be also marketing and getting the word out and all that.
Yep.
Yeah. How is business, by the way?
Business is good. So I have a little celebratory moment here.
Ooh.
I joined the 1 Comma Club.
Hey, congrats.
Thank you.
So you're over 1,000 MRR?
Over 1,000 MRR. Yep. Yeah, growth has been good. I think I have a goal set of like at least 50% revenue growth per month, and in Profit Well, it just kind of gives you a little progress graph as you go along, and I'm exceeding the trajectory line on that. So that's good to see. Yeah.
Well, if we take that out like 2 or 3 years, you're doing pretty well.
Right? Yeah.
I remember the days of 50% monthly growth.
Yeah. Yeah, at a certain point, I'll have to flip that to something more linear, probably, if I want to be realistic.
Yes, I think so.
Compounding 50%.
Definitely at a certain point. Some point, there will be a point where you will decide.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. That's cool, though. Congrats. That's wonderful.
Thanks. Yeah.
Did Static Kit or Level get to this milestone?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Third time is more the charm, apparently.
Right. Yes. I mean, the last app, aside from Drip, obviously, which is on its own trajectory, like Code Tree that I built, back in, what was that, 2016 or something like that? No, it was earlier than that. It like topped out at around $5,000 a month, I think, in MRR. So that's the next one to beat that. And then I will have exceeded all of my independent solo SaaS endeavors. So
a new personal record, perhaps.
Yes, exactly.
It feels like you've got some momentum. Seems like you're shipping stuff and people are signing up, and there's life in this.
Yeah, it's feeling that way. Definitely my personal marketing strategy, which is just making as much noise as I can on Twitter and trying to work in public and show off what I'm building and generate excitement in that way, is still working well for me. Like that's the primary source, I think.
Yeah. So people are coming from your audience then? Your customers are from your Twitter following mostly?
Yeah, or like audience adjacent. I think I'm seeing a lot of people coming through signing up now that are not like people that I've ever had a conversation with or, interacted with on Twitter. So I think that they're people who follow people that follow me, or a couple layers removed like that, which is nice to see. Nice to see it kind of scale out a little bit, because I know that there's a good chance it usually tops out, like this form of like kind of personal marketing, leveraging personal brand. Like it almost always tops out. You have to find other things, generally speaking, that will be kind of marketing flywheels. So that's why I'm really anxious to get those rolling, like whether it's SEO or content or whatever. But for now, I'm very happy with continuing to squeeze as much out of this as I can.
Why do you feel like this is more successful than the other things? That's a tough question, but any theories?
It definitely has much better alignment with my network and my audience. So I think that's a good amount of kindling right now. I think that, it resonates. It's something that a lot of people need who are in my sphere and who have been following along with the journey. So I think that's been the thing that's kindling this, and it just kind of grows whether it's like an element of virality, I guess. I mean, I don't think a lot of people have come through the overlay my calendar viral loop thing just yet. Like, that hasn't really taken off, but just people using it, talking about it, recommending it to others. I think this has just been enough of a starter to get that kind of ball rolling.
Do you look back on anything and think like, oh, I could have gotten here faster if I hadn't spent time on X or Y or something?
Like previous products or
no, on SavvyCal in particular.
On SavvyCal in particular.
It's pretty fast, right? How long did this take?
So I started this like at the beginning of the pandemic is basically when I broke ground on.
When you broke ground on the code.
On the code, yeah. I mean, launch was about 2 months ago. Okay.
So like 6 months of coding and then 2 months of actually being in the available?
Yeah, roughly. Yep.
I mean, 2 months to 1K MRR seems pretty fast to me.
Yeah, I feel happy with the pace. Like, I think I probably could have launched maybe like a month earlier in reality, because post-launch is really when learning has accelerated. It's just, as soon as I did it, I had a good sense of like, okay, these are the top things that I need to build. And it would have been nice to have that information a little bit sooner, and I probably could have gotten the ball rolling on revenue a little sooner. I don't feel too bad about it, like, because I still had a lot of foundational work to do before launching MVP. So,
Are you seeing a decent amount of people adding teammates under the team plan?
Yeah, that is still, I think, like about 2/3 of my growth is coming from new users and 1/3 from adding team members. And the demand for actual team functionality is continuing to grow. So like this week, I'm working on embedding, because that's a highly demanded feature, being able to like put a scheduling link onto your website. I was like debating either doing that this week or building kind of basic team scheduling links. Collective scheduling links is the first one I'm going to build, where you have multiple people from your team who need to be on a meeting. So you need to kind of combine their availability together. So I think that's next week, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good. There's nothing like shipping the things that people have been asking you for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're working on some of that now, but I was talking to someone the other day, and it's like the things that people have been asking us for a while that we keep saying no to are all really hard now. Because the easy ones that we got asked for a lot, we've shipped a while ago. And now it's like, okay, the rest are things that we want to do, we're pretty sure, and people want, but like they're all hard now. It's all the challenging stuff we've kicked down the road for a while. So it's like, okay, might be time to put on the power pants and go after it.
This continues to happen with me, where the longer a project goes, the more mentally difficult it is to think about taking it on. Because I know that time is money, so it's opportunity cost. The more time I spend on one feature, I'm not making progress on other fronts, and lots of people have lots of demands all the time. So I know that like if I'm focusing all my energy on this one thing for multiple weeks, then it better be worth it. And so it feels high stakes and it feels riskier. So I'm definitely trying to stay as iterative as possible. Like this embedding feature, there's a lot of things that I can add to it, a lot of customization and different APIs for tweaking the behavior of how it works. But I'm forcing myself to ship this with almost no features beyond like hooking into a link, an A tag you have on your page, and you just tag it with like embed, and it will, instead of opening the link in a different tab, it'll open it in your site. So like very basic functionality. I want to ship it with that first, and then people will obviously have a lot of requests following up on that, but better to get it out the door.
Totally. I don't think I've ever gotten bad response from that. Like, all right, here's the tiny piece of the feature we shipped today. We want to do more. Give us your feedback. I find like people are not disappointed that you didn't give them the whole thing already. They're psyched to see progress instead.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool. That's exciting. It feels like you got momentum.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm still riding on a high from that, so I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Cool. Mm-hmm. That's great. I have a mini Twitter hack.
Yeah? What's that?
The other day, someone asked me a question, and I was like, oh, that's a good question. And so I tweeted the question, and the question was, what's the hardest part about making good software? And just ask that question of the world and my audience. And it's got 138 responses and 20 retweets and 100 likes, and it's been seen like 50,000 times. And I kind of didn't do anything. I just asked a question, and then people respond to it. And then I think because it's getting a lot of engagement, Twitter shows it to more people. And then after enough responses are there, people start retweeting the thread as an interesting thread of what does it take to make good software. And so you probably need to have a decent amount of audience to get this ball rolling. But it does kind of seem a little bit like a little bit of a way of cheating of having a popular tweet because other people are doing the work for you. They're making the interesting content.
Right. Yeah. Being a good conversation starter or knowing how to like pose a question really well, which I think it's a lot of times it just takes a little bit of like a few minutes maybe of extra thought of like wordsmithing. That's important on Twitter, I think, to just kind of you dial it in just right where, if you hadn't done that, maybe it would have gone nowhere if it was just kind of not worded quite right.
Yeah. And then like when I see interesting responses to a question like that, I can retweet them if I want. And so it's like the value that someone else has created I can then share with my audience. It's a fun little thing. I think it would get tiring if I did it too often, but I saw seeing it work again yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot this is kind of a thing.
I know you talked about last week that you're thinking about spending more deliberate time on marketing and kind of through your Twitter channels and stuff. So have you put more thought into that? Like, have you been deliberate about that in the last week, or is that still just something that you kind of
still pretty casual?
Yeah.
No, I think there's more marketing in my future. There's a little bit of like team building stuff I'm working on right now, but then I'm hoping to spend more time on it later. So I'm still just doing my normal background baseline marketing of this podcast and random tweets and hot takes and things like that for miraculously seem to just work.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel very lucky. Sometimes I'm like, am I playing on Twitter or am I working? I'm not even sure. It's kind of in between.
Does it even matter?
Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, enough
Right.
people seem to be hearing about us through Twitter and like generating like revenue and becoming customers and spreading the word that like I don't know. Maybe it's fine.
Yeah. Do you have in your head a rough split and willing to share like how many of your customers come through like self sign up channels versus through sales right now?
It's almost all self sign up. We do have some larger customers going through sales, and we've closed 6-figure deals via like the enterprise sales channel, a handful, and there are more in the pipeline that will probably happen as well. But it's not a huge chunk of revenue. It's probably 10% or 15%, something like that.
Interesting. It's compelling enough to kind of have that like you have that role filled right now. Someone who's kind of dedicated to having those sales conversations when they come in, right? But you're not doing like outbound sales at
Correct.
the moment. And
Yep.
Okay, got it.
That feels about right to me. We could maybe build like an enterprise sales organization, I guess. But every time I get a cold email, I'm like, oh man, let's never do this. And I know there are more savvy ways to do this, but I'm kind of happy with it how it is like in terms of a percentage of revenue. It's worth having someone work on because it's enough of that. And some of the companies are like good customers to have because they're well known and kind of famous. And that's kind of nice. I'm kind of in the base camp where having lots of smaller customers is less stressful. Having a couple really big ones like is kind of, I mean, it's nice to land them, but then you're like, oh man, if they cancel or they got upset or whatever, like it just adds more stress when you screw up in their world. So it's not quite ideal to me from like a lifestyle perspective.
Right. They just kind of implicitly have more power because if they were to leave, it would like potentially register on the dial of the company progress overall, So
Yeah. And like when they report issues, you're like, oh no, I hope we don't make X company mad. So when their users have issues, it like feels more stressful to me. And I guess some of this is just like controlling my own psychology, but I think there is a fair point about like just sort of the resiliency of the business. Spreading out that revenue across a lot of companies, I think, is actually kind of great. A little safer.
Yeah, that's what I'm enjoying that about my distribution of like revenue versus number of customers. I know that it can work against you because it can be hard to find more customers each paying $12 per user. Like that can be a tough road, but also like it's seeming to work okay right now, and I feel pretty good about the fact that like if I have a handful of customers churn, it's not really gonna like impact the overall baseline MRR that much,
Yep.
So
That's a nice place to be.
Mm-hmm.
Although if you're charging them annually, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Right.
Just saying. If I were your chief revenue officer.
I mean, that's probably on the list of things to experiment with is like once I have a better idea of what cohort churn looks like, and like at the point at which people are most likely to stick around. Because right now I've had like basically zero churn. I think maybe a total of 2 customers have churned. So too early to tell. But I think there will be an optimal point where like, all right, people are in it for the long haul, whether it's like 1 month or 2 months or whatever that point is, then pitch them on annual. I think that's probably what I'll do once I have more data.
Mm-hmm. I got an iPhone mini, by the way.
Did you? Oh, nice. Is that the one that's like, it's like the original iPhone size or like?
Yeah, it's like iPhone 5 size,
Yeah.
I think. It's cool. It feels a lot nicer in my pocket. It's like nicely smaller. I haven't used it enough to know if like the screen is going to feel too small. I think I didn't think about is that it makes the keyboard smaller. So it's harder to type accurately on it. So we'll see how I feel about it after a few more days. But so far the form factor feels nice to have a smaller phone.
Yeah. It's so funny how the kind of fads have changed on phones. Like they started small, then they got really big, and then they've kind of pulled back a little bit. And like I think a lot of people have this nostalgic feeling about that generation of phone, and like Apple was smart to like recognize that and make a version that was that size. So it's pretty interesting.
I like the feel in the pocket so far. I could say that.
But you have a case on it or no case?
Never case. I'm a never caser.
You're a never caser. Oh, wow.
Yeah. They work so hard to make these phones so small.
No, I know.
And then you're going to wrap a stupid case around it.
I'm with you in theory on that one, but
yeah. Have you tried not dropping your phone? That's what I do.
So you don't on the regular walk around with a cracked screen on your phone then?
No, I've cracked one screen. I've had like 7 or 8 iPhones, I think. I don't know why everyone drops it, but I don't seem to, but I just don't seem to drop it. So, I
envy that. I want to do that, but I also have a case on mine that holds my Vital cards in the back, which means I don't need a wallet anymore, and that's a big
that's
that
kind
was
of
a
cool.
life changer.
Yeah, they have those new magnetic cases that you can like. Have you seen this? Or like the little
I don't think so.
card holder. So the new iPhones have like a magnetic back, and you can like get like a little card holder that like attaches to the back magnetically. Which I was like, that's the first time I was like, okay, maybe I do want that. That seems kind of cool.
I don't know. I'm old enough to remember when like magnets next to computers was such a scary thing.
Well, yeah, but it's okay. It's all right now.
It's okay now.
Figured it out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Plus these new chips. Speaking of Apple,
yeah.
have you seen these benchmarks for the M1?
Yeah, I haven't been like obsessing over them, but I've seen some things fly by in my news feeds, and it looks pretty impressive.
It looks ridiculous. It's like a kind of crazy feat of engineering. It made me much more bullish on Apple in general. The fact that they've managed this like huge technical feat, that's like going to be, I think, a pretty enduring competitive advantage. I'm excited to like get one of these machines and see what that feels like.
Yeah, me too. I'm probably due for an upgrade at pretty soon now. So I'm.
I mean, a man in the One Comma Club should.
Yeah,
be
I know, right?
God,
he needs to have good hardware.
Absolutely. Got to get those compile times down.
Exactly. I got to run npm install and all that good stuff. So
yeah.
Only the best.
Anything else going on with you business wise?
I think that's most of it. Yeah, just kind of. I think I'm going to work on team stuff next week, so should have more to report on that next time we record.
I'm being a little tight-lipped about some things that I do want to talk about in the future. So we'll more details to share in later, perhaps. But for now, we'll see. Last thing I have is SpaceX is doing a launch this weekend. They're launching more humans into space.
More humans. Wow.
More humans. Yeah, second time. So
nice.
Saturday. I guess by the time anyone hears this, it'll be SpaceX launched humans into space last week.
Last Saturday.
This is exactly why we're not a news show.
Right. Right.
Anyway, so you and I should watch this tomorrow because it's going to be cool.
Nice. Yeah. Exciting.
And I hope everyone else watched it in the past and everything went great. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Notes of the show?
Notes for the show can be found at artofproductpodcast.com.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.